Welcome, adventurers, to another episode of the Thumbstick Adventurers. I'll be your host today. I'm Kagros.
Not my DK.
I'm Juicy Samples.
So, yes, before we get started, for those of you that are new to the channel, if you'd like to see more of us, please hit that follow button so you're notified that we are live. We usually stream on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, I guess, at this point. Maybe every month. I don't know. Wednesdays at 8:30 PST. Or you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We can find all of our old episodes. But anyway, today we are going to be doing a video game review. We haven't done this actually in almost a year. Our last review was Genosia. I think this was back
Oh
in April.
yeah.
It's back in April. So we finally have a game that we've all played and we can all review it together. But before we get started there,
Yeah, IDK. Yeah, you better put those quotation marks calling you out.
before we get started, we're gonna go do our gaming news segment first. So like what's up this week? So what games have you guys been playing this week or the past week?
What about you, IDK? Why don't you go first?
I've been watching Kagros play AI Somnium, Somnium, or whatever. I'm watching him play that, and been watching some people play Elden Ring because I won't spend money on a game I won't beat. Um, and then just recently I've been watching some Cuphead. Again, another game I won't play if I won't beat. So I haven't really been playing very much. I'm doing a lot more watching.
Same thing. Nowadays, as a Twitch streamer, I'm sure people are watching you play IDK or watching you watch other Twitch streamers watch
That's
another
not
Twitch.
how it works. That's not how it works. Get banned for that.
uh, I've been playing. Well, what we're gonna talk about today, which was Life is Strange True Colors, was on sale for $30, so I pulled the trigger and played it over 2 weekends. And happy to report back, the feelings I have for this game, my true colors for this game, as they would say. But other than that, I jumped back into Pokemon Arceus. It's that type of game where you can always just jump back in and run around for a little bit, catch some Pokemon, and yeah, just relax with the game. So I haven't made much progress, but yeah, I'm in no rush to beat the game.
as IDK mentioned, I'm playing AI the Somnium Files. The Somnium Files IDK. The trick is it's insomnia, so you just drop the in. So Somnium, just like that IDK. Right? Yeah, we've been playing. Yeah, we've been. I've been. I've been streaming it. IDK's been watching it and giving commentary on it. Previous we started it because we both bid on the sequel to the game, but we barely played it, so we had no idea how this game is gonna go. But yeah, I mean, I played this old their other stuff like the Zero Escape series, so I expect the game to do very well. So we'll see how it turns out. But it's a lot more sexier than his previous games. It's a lot more sexier. Oh my goodness. It's a little too much for me, in my opinion. It's a little excessive.
You just boosted your ratings by 10 points.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's yeah. Anyways, in other news today, though, the PlayStation State of Play dropped today, highlighting some games that are coming out for the PS4 and the PS5. Curious if there's anything that caught your guys' attention in the PlayStation State of Play.
I can
Well,
speak first,
yeah,
actually.
go ahead.
I think the most outstanding one is actually the JoJo fighting game. Is that like a compilation of all the previous titles, or is that a brand new JoJo game?
I think it's a brand new JoJo game. I would expect so. Because it looked like they were all running the same engine, right? It looked like it.
I think I think it's an older game. They just have up-res that maybe.
Let me see.
Oh, I see. I see.
It
I thought
might
it was
be.
okay.
So, because I know someone online was saying, oh, someone was saying it's pretty odd that the best looking game at the whole event was the old JoJo fighting game. That's what somebody said.
No, it's a new game. It's a new
Is
game.
that a new game?
It's a new game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only really the news. I guess like I'll let IDK speak first.
I think for me, because I still haven't seen the presentation, but looking at the list of stuff that's released and some of the hype I've read online, so I know Exo Primal got a lot of Dino Crisis fans upset and happy at the same time. They're like a brand new Dino Crisis, and then it was like, nope, not today, boys. So, yeah, it seems interesting. Not coming out until 2023, I think.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, I misspoke. The JoJo game, it's a standalone remaster update featuring additional content. So basically, a director's cut, a remastered director's cut. That's what it is.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought it was.
Anyways.
Cool.
Looking at the list, Gundam Evolution seems interesting. I'm not sure what it is. I could have sworn we already had a Gundam Evolution game like
I think it's a battle royale.
10 years ago.
It's a battle royale game.
Is it Battle Royale?
It's battle royale.
Okay, could be interesting if it has a variety of Gundams in it. The one that caught my eye though that I saw when I was reading online at work was Valkyrie Elysium.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spin-off of the Valkyrie Profile games that
is it?
Enix.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a spin-off of an older RPG series that was turn-based. Now they've made it action, which I know has concerned some fans of that series because they've been dying for a new Valkyrie game for a long time. But the Valkyrie games of the past were all turn-based. I think Valkyrie Profile 2 was action-based, and now they're bringing it back as an action-based game again.
Yep.
So it has mixed opinion on that, but that's the one that interested me the most from what I saw. Just because, it's an old franchise that Square Enix is randomly resurrecting.
So when I saw the title, I got pretty excited because that was Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, Valkyria Chronicles. No.
When I saw it, I'm like,
no.
what is this game? What? Hey,
No.
Someone catfished me. Catfish.
No.
Although the styling, I thought initially it looked very Valkyria Chronicles-esque, because there's like some cell shading on the main character itself. But as you see the gameplay, I was very confused.
I think it's their take. They're gonna take that universe and pull a automata to it, a near automata.
I see.
That's a lot of people were saying, which could be interesting. Who knows?
Yeah, it depends if there's anyone who made Nier Automata, that's developing this game.
All right.
Don't know.
Yeah. So I guess my turn, huh? I don't know.
Yeah.
Forspoken looks pretty hot, man. Forspoken
Nice.
looks pretty hot. I think it's. I don't know. I don't know if it was the video lagging for me or something though, but like the graphics kept like flashing. But I think it was just the video. But I think it looks pretty good. You know.
Some people did mention.
I can't actually tell gameplay through trailers though. I don't actually know how the gameplay actually feels through trailer. You actually gotta play it to really.
Well, here's the thing. Like I heard about Forspoken that apparently it looks like it has low frame rate issues right now. It's like hitting less than 24 frames per second.
Okay.
Maybe they'll fix that. Maybe they won't. Maybe it'll be a design feature. But the thing is, so far with Square Enix, a lot of their games have had demos. They're bringing back demos.
So,
which is kind of interesting.
Speaking of demos, Final Fantasy Origin Stranger of Paradise, the demo is available today. You guys can go check it out. and tell me it's gonna get a 90 because someone counterpicked me. I'm not gonna say who, but someone counterpicked this game. But after watching the trailer today, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Well, you know what they say: chaos, chaos, chaos.
Oh my goodness! Why?
We will see. We will see.
We will see. Comes out next
I-
week, next Friday.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Comes out next Friday.
I,
But-
and
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
No. I'm basically done. IDK, did you want to say something?
I was gonna say we have a little note here poking fun at me because I drafted Final Fantasy 16 in our league. I think I'm big brain in this, but Enix didn't want to capsize their boat with Stranger, Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, by having a trailer for FF16. They're like, no, this is all about Stranger of Paradise. Once it comes out,
IDK,
the dust
that
settles.
is not true at all. The Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise trailer was really short. It was really short. It wasn't the highlight.
Well, that's not good.
That is not good.
They-
Yeah, that is not. That's why I'm worried.
They should be pumping it a little more. They haven't really pumped it very much. But yeah, that's why FF16 didn't show up. Because
Yeah. I'm surprised how much Square Enix there is.
There was a lot, dude. You might as well have called the Square Enix showcase. Like I think at least half, or maybe more than half, was Square Enix.
Yeah, I think, and I do think Final Fantasy 16 will have a time to shine, and certainly it should not belong in this direct because it's just too much. The one thing I did want to point out was the Diofield Chronicle.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
People are saying that it's like a Fire Emblems sort of game.
interesting.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I think it's more similar to Valkyria Chronicles than Fire Emblem. It's,
From a gameplay perspective,
yeah,
or
from
from
a gameplay perspective, from like the environment, yes, it's like Fire Emblem. It's similar to
Yeah.
Fire Emblem.
There was one game I heard about that seemed very interesting. It's not on this list we have here. It's called Trek to Yomi.
Yes. That
Supposed to be
game is
a-
coming out later this year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 2D
It's a 2D
What is it?
sword fighting.
2D
game.
sword fighting game.
Yeah.
Yeah, seemed like that got a lot of interest.
that game already
Oh.
came out though, didn't it? I thought it came out on PC.
Let me see.
No idea. I'll have to look it up.
Let's see here. No, it hasn't come out yet. Hold on. It says on Steam here. Yeah, no, it hasn't come out yet on Steam either. This game is still draftable in our league. Well, I don't know if someone drafted it, but I'm pretty sure. I remember looking at this game before.
Interesting.
It looked okay. To me, it looked more like a Flash game. It seemed like it's a Flash game I played before.
Could have been
Could have been.
these days.
Yeah. Exo Primal, I didn't really care too much about it. It's just a zombie shooter, except it's replaced zombies with dinosaurs. that's basically.
But it's supposed to be like Anthem, isn't it? Like it's a multiplayer.
Oh, I don't know.
co-op
I'm just watching.
shooter.
I was just watching the gameplay. I don't know what the game. I don't know.
I heard through the grapevine that it's the Japanese version of Anthem, and we all know how that went.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer, so I have no impressions of it.
All right. Well, yeah. You know what else there was a lack of in this PlayStation State of Play? Kingdom Hearts.
Ape Escape?
Oh, Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts.
Hearts.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Kingdom Hearts has their anniversary event or something. I think next month. So
Okay.
I think so. Let me see.
I'll tell you what there was a distinct lack of. All I've been hearing about, all these rumors swirling about about Sony bringing back a classic franchise. And I didn't see no news about Infamous or Ape Escape. I am upset.
Infamous.
I am
Infamous.
upset.
I don't know. At this point, I don't
Infamous.
know. I don't have high hopes for
Sly-
Infamous.
Infamous, Sly Cooper, Ape Escape. Where are the games, Sony? Give me the games. I need the games.
Kingdom Hearts is doing their 20th anniversary event on April 10th. So I'm sure
Ooh.
I'm sure we'll hear some. Like, we haven't heard anything about Kingdom Hearts for a while now, in over a year, and they definitely, the machine never stops. They got something cooking over there, for sure.
I'm preparing myself to be very disappointed. So
I mean, come on, Nomura. Nomura's not directing Final Fantasy VII Part 2. He finished with Part 1. He handed it off to Kitsune.
And Neo's done too.
And Neo's done for now.
Yeah.
So all he has to do is focus on Kingdom Hearts.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the end of our gaming news segment. So I think we need to get on to the main topic of today's episode. That is the Life is Strange True Colors review.
yeah, let's go.
All right. So let's hold on. Let me edit this right. Let's talk about the game design. Actually, let's give a brief overview for those of you that are not familiar with Life is Strange True Colors, and you guys can add more if I missed anything. So Life is Strange True Colors is... What kind of game would you guys describe it as?
A walking simulator?
A walking simulator? I guess so. Alright, so it's
a lot of walking.
It's a narrative-heavy walking simulator. And you play as Alex Chen. I think she is 21. She's 21, I think like early 20s. She's in her early 20s. Hold on.
I think she's 21.
Gabe is 26. Gabe is 26 in the game, I believe. Yeah, so I think Alex is like 21. So Alex is 20. She's 21. Early 20s. Early 20s.
Yeah, well, she has to be 21 because she was able to drink alcohol.
Oh yeah, and she was able to serve alcohol. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, so she's at least 21, and she has moved to a new town after her brother asked her to move to this town, and it's a small mining town in Colorado. It's a very, very nice looking small mining town in Colorado, and she has not seen her brother in years after they were split up through the Child Protective Services system in Oregon. And she hopes to start a new life in the small town, which is named Haven, and then she meets a lot of the residents and gets to know them better. And the twist of the game is that Alex actually has a superpower in that she can sense people's feelings, and when she uses her ability, she can see what color their aura is, which gives her an indication of what emotion that they are currently feeling.
And in some ways, like, be telepathic. Is that the right word? To be able to read like people's minds.
Yes.
Through their emotions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did I miss anything? Is that a good summary?
Yeah. And so are you gonna pull up spoilers?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Oh, and also one more thing too is that this is also because it's a narrative-heavy game. You also can make choices. You can make choices, and then the game will prompt you like, please make a decision, and they will affect what happens later on in the game. And it does happen quite a lot, where it will affect. So, anyways, let's talk about the game design here. So I'm gonna go down this list here. So first of all, I want to talk about the setting, Haven. What do you guys think of Haven?
It's a beautiful, quaint town. I think it's a great setting. I think everything about it is great. Like, not only just like the location, but like the music selection. The reason why it's based in Colorado. It makes me want to live there. I was so jealous. Like, man, this is a beautiful river. So there's like opportunities in a game where you can just sit and reflect and relax and listen to some good music, and I'll just show you, some scenic views of the town and the people, and it just makes you want to belong in this, tight-knit community. Man, I was vibing. It made me want to go to Colorado.
I mean, thinking on it now, it was a very nice, pretty place. You can find similar communities actually up north here if you go up to LaGrange or Sonora, like little
Mm.
mountain communities, and they're very pretty and well put together. I suppose thinking on it now, for Colorado, small mining community, it was very diverse.
Yes.
Yes, they had a lot of people from different races there. I really totally would expect it to be like straight up bunch of white people, maybe a handful of Asians, and
Asian.
maybe
I would have thought
maybe
like African, more like white, Caucasian, African American. Not many Asians. Because come on, let's be honest here.
nah,
We Asians, we're smaller than the average, the other races. So can't do that manual labor, man. Come on.
I mean maybe, but it kind of felt like, I mean, like the name. It's just one letter away from heaven.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be
The
invoking that.
observant.
Very
It's
observant.
I mean, it's a stupid basic observation, but yeah, come on, man. It's one letter away from heaven. It's supposed to be like really. It's really nice. Very clean, very peaceful, for the most part. You know.
So Juicy mentioned the soundtrack. What do you guys think of the soundtrack?
It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Really set the
Um,
mood for the town.
yeah, exactly. It set the mood. I would never play it by myself, like sitting in a room. But when you're playing the game and you hear that music, everything just clicks together. Very beautiful.
I think a lot of thought went into the soundtrack. I really liked how well they paired the music with what was going on in the game, and definitely like during the Zen moments where like Alex just puts on headphones and just listens to music on the record player. Right? I think
Mhm.
all the choices were very very well done, and this is definitely a top tier soundtrack. And this is why I really like narrative heavy games because they actually put a lot of thought in these narrative heavy games. They put a lot of thought into the soundtrack to basically set set the mood of whatever scene you're watching. And I think like I don't think it gets enough credit. Honestly, I really don't think it gets enough credit because in my opinion, I can't see like if there is an award. I think there is an award for like best sound direction or something at the Game Awards. It
Yeah,
should
yeah.
it should always go to a narrative heavy game because like they just do it so much better. Like I think the only exception would be like something like Devil May Cry. Right, Devil May Cry has an amazing soundtrack too. And let me take a look here. Game Awards.
Hey, don't forget Persona 5,
Oh,
okay?
absolutely, Persona 5. Yes, absolutely.
I snubbed many times.
Yes. I mean, like to be honest, like we talked about this like previously in like our soundtrack, like our iconic music episode, which I think still think is our best episode. But like it's just come on, man, like the Japanese their soundtracks are just better. I don't know what to say.
There's just a lot more attention to their music and
Mhm.
just how it ties with the game itself, whether the game is like narrative driven or even gameplay driven. Like, I'm sure I haven't played this game yet, but IDK, I'm sure you can attest to Near Automata for having excellent soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
Remember,
Very
Near
good
Automata
music.
beat Persona 5, so
mhm,
that's
mhm.
actually saying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Music in Nier was very good.
Yeah.
Very appropriate for the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they actually have last year, 2021 the Game Awards, they had best score in music. So actually that year, last year, Life is Strange: True Colors did win Games for Impact, but surprisingly, it was never nominated for best score in music, and
Okay.
I'm very very surprised. Like it absolutely should have at least gotten a nomination. Near Replicant won, which I'm not surprised because given that Near Automata beat Persona, I would not be surprised if Near Replicant also was really really good. But like they got things like Cyberpunk, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, and The Artful Escape. I'm surprised Life is Strange: True Colors was not included on here, and I absolutely do think this is another snub. We'll talk about the major snub of this game later, but like I think this is one of the snubs at the Game Awards here. It should have been nominated for more awards in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. So, anyways, what did you guys think? So the next thing, how do you guys think the choices were handled, like choosing, making decisions in this game? How do you guys think it was handled? No spoilers
Um,
right now.
so I think it's important to provide some background and context
Okay.
in terms of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So like I myself haven't played as many visual novels as the other two here, and I've never played any Life is Strange games except for this one.
Okay.
But I
Actually,
have
hold on.
played.
You mind if I cut in here? So I
Yeah.
don't think any of us have played this. I think for all of us, this is our first Life is Strange game.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So for all of us, this is our first. I played the first one, like the first chapter, a long time ago. I don't remember much, and I stopped. But yeah, I think IDK you two, this is your first Life is Strange game, right?
Uh, I've watched very well partial playthroughs of 1 and 2. Like I don't remember anything from those, but I've seen someone play them, so I kind of knew what we were getting into a little bit, but uh, not I'm not a veteran or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, just giving some context on my background. I think the only game that I've played that had as much choice, if not more choices than this game, is The Walking Dead. And for this game, I thought the choices were done pretty well. Um, and I went in with this game not knowing that my choices would impact the ending. In hindsight, like, is that these the choices you make will somehow impact the story at the end. But yeah, I thought I was it was a nice surprise. That's all I can say. Like from a you know kind of like a first timer. Um, yeah, it's been great, and I hope. I guess I won't ever have this type of experience ever again. If I decide to play the next Life is Strange game. But yeah, I really liked it. What about you, Kagros?
So I think the best part of the game were the choices made. So in addition to like the main story, there's also things going on in the background, and I mentioned here that I think it's actually very kind of similar to Red Dead. Oh, I didn't mention it here. Um, I think it's kind of similar to like Red Dead Redemption 2, where like there's also like in addition to like even the main quest and the side quest, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. Like when you go into into the camp, like there's a lot of stuff that is also happening in the background, and you won't know it if you don't spend any time in camp because like you have to sit down, you have to listen, and likewise in this game there are things going on in the background, and you have to stand there and you have to listen to the entire conversation. And I think stuff like that is really really cool in games because it really makes you slow down and really appreciate the environment that you are in, and you can make choices for those. And in some of those like background conversations, you can help them by making a choice, and that actually something small like that actually affects what happens later on too. Although in a very very small, there's not really much consequence to it, but it also affects what happens. So I think that's really cool. And but overall, without getting too much into spoilers, there's a choice. The one thing I don't like about choice games is that there's always usually a very obvious answer on what the right thing to do is. And in this game, one of the choices, the obvious one is not the correct choice to be making. And I thought that was very very surprising, and I really actually do like that because for that choice, I think you really have to think about it. When we go to sports section, we'll talk about this more. But like for that choice, like you really have to think about it. Like it's obvious, the gut one is to go with this, but like if you think about it, I think we should go with the not so obvious one. And I'm glad that it's like, oh, her, oh, this is the obvious one. Oh, I get that. Oh yeah, yeah. Of course we gotta do this, right? So I think I like that there was thought in it. I kind of wish that the choices were a little bit more difficult to make, like not so obvious, and but I think overall it was still pretty cool to see your choices do matter, which is actually a big part of the Life is Strange series to begin with.
Um, uh, that's why I'm really excited with this review and spoiler because I felt that the majority of the choices were very difficult to make,
I see.
which I applaud this game for making
Interesting.
because I think a lot of the choices, like, I think either choice could have been the right choice.
Mm.
And that's why I can't wait to like talk more about the game and really see where everyone sits.
Oh. Oh, look at
Oh, I
IDK is throwing a shit eating grin right now. He's got
no.
that shit eating grin. Oh my god.
Oh, the terrors will spill
Okay,
together.
so the viewers don't know this, but IDK is like he's sharpening his knives right now. You have no idea how much he's been waiting to go off on this game. Like he's ready to freaking like he is ready to he's he wants blood.
Really?
He wants
Yeah,
blood.
he's ready to massacre
Yeah.
a certain character.
There is a character who should not be among the living. If it were my decisions, this game is following. I think you guys have brought up a lot of great points. I think the only thing I would add on is my experience with games like this that have a strong narrative design but has like the ability to choose your vocal options for your character. The one game that really pops up in my head is the Telltale's game, the werewolf game.
Yeah,
What was
the Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us. And one critique I had of that game was that they had a hard timer on your decisions. You had to pick quickly which option you wanted. So having the ability in this game to actually sit and like read the dialogue prompts and be like, what should we do? Like, what? How should we respond to this? We actually had the ability to sit and think about it. Uh, I prefer that, or as opposed to like, oh, do it now, pick your option now. Like you're gonna run out of time.
It had some moments in this game, but definitely did not have as huge of a cost as something like you said, among the Wolf Among Us or The Walking Dead.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on to the next thing. What did you guys think about the voice acting? We mentioned the soundtrack, but how did you guys like the voice acting? I thought the voice acting was very, very well done.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. All the characters felt like they had the appropriate voices. I didn't feel like any of the voice actors were really phoning it in. They felt like the characters they were portraying, and their voice performances actually made me like and hate certain characters. So, yeah, all around pretty good. I couldn't tell you who they were based off their voices. I didn't hear anyone famous, but I think they all did a good job.
I agree with that. I think everyone did a pretty good job. Um, I think, but I think because everyone's like very good at their job, like no one actor stood out to me. And I think the unfortunate thing, which might lead into Kagros discussing about the snub, but I think the nature of this game of well, not the nature of the game, but I think if this game had better visuals, which I think first off, like I was playing this on a PS5 and the visuals are so nice, like the lighting and everything was so nice, but the fact that characters and just the game design itself is a little bit more caricature in a way. It doesn't allow you to like have those very expressive moments. Um, except for like certain scenes, which I kind of want to dig into later. But I think that kind of impacted like how well the actors could have been portrayed as, or how well they could have done as actors. Which is totally unfair, and I think that's why it got snubbed. But yeah, I think overall everyone was really good, but no one really stood out because of those limitations.
All right, so Juicy brought the snub. So during the Game Awards, I'm still pretty disappointed with this. So for the Game Awards, Erica Mori, the actress for Alex Chen, She was nominated for Best Performance, and unfortunately, the Maggie Robertson who portrays Lady D in Resident Evil Village won, which was very surprising to me, given the fact that Lady D is literally, I think, only on screen for like 30 minutes. She's the first boss. I believe she's the first boss in the game in Resident Evil Village. And I remember when they announced that, I didn't even play. I didn't play Life is Strange True Colors yet, but I was like, really? Like, she's literally the first boss. Like, how the heck did she win? Like how the heck is she like? Oh my goodness! I'm like, oh man, gamers are just so freaking horny. They just want to get stepped on. Oh my goodness! Because you guys remember we watched this together, right? When they announced it, I was like, what the heck? Like, you got Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo here. Like if you're gonna do that, at least give it to him. Then, my goodness, like he's an actual actor. Come on, man. Like how the heck? But yeah, I think after playing Life is Strange, I think Erica Moore did a really good job as Alex, especially when Alex did the singing. Like when they cast her, I believe they cast her because of the fact that Alex was gonna play and sing guitar, play and sing with her guitar. So they cast a musician for the role, and I think she did a phenomenal job as Alex. So yeah, I think she got snubbed. Absolutely, I think she should have won because I think she delivered a performance basically from the entire game, a great performance through the entirety of the game, especially at the in the final chapter. So yeah. Okay. All right. So let's. I don't want to get into spoilers yet. Let me see. Oh yeah, and then the next thing. What do you guys think about the length of the game? I think the game was about 10 hours long, 10 to 15 hours long. What do you guys think about the
10
length?
hours. To me, it was perfect because I finished it in 2 weekends. I finished it in like 3 days. And I played like maybe 3-4 hours each time, give or take. So that was nice. That was great. Would it have been longer? No, I actually don't think so. I thought the length was actually spectacular.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What about you, IDK? What do you think?
Time-wise, I thought it was fine. Like, it could have gone on longer. I think they could have explored some more stuff, but I don't think they really needed to. And for someone like me who didn't have to pay for the game, great. It was wonderful. Perfect. A plus experience, man. A plus experience.
Cheapskate.
Like, normally there's that conversation of like, how much does the game cost versus how many hours you get gameplay you get from it. But if you don't have to cost, you just watch the gameplay, and you're just talking about how many hours it took for you to watch it. And for me, man, 10 hours, 20 hours, don't matter to me. Shoot.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up costs. All right, IDK, you brought it up. I'm gonna talk about it now. So, I bought the Life is Strange remastered bundle. So overall, this game was 50% off basically because I think the full bundle. The bundle was also on sale too. It was $60. So basically, I paid a full game's price for it. Was basically buy one get one free. I wish the game was a little longer, maybe another chapter. I think instead of from 10 to 15, I think they could have added 15 to 20. I felt like it was a little too short. I would have preferred a slightly longer game because as we'll go into it during the spoiler section, I think some of the characters could have been fleshed out a little bit better. And I think having an additional chapter, and we'll also talk about the story too. I think there's one not really a problem, but one gripe I had with the story, and I think they could have put in another chapter, preferably without getting into spoilers. I think they could have put in another chapter between chapter 4 and chapter 5, in my opinion. But yeah, I still think the length is fine, but if you paid full price for this game, I think you might feel a little disappointed because I think the game could have been a little bit longer.
But you do have to argue that maybe someone who's buying at full price is a fan of Life is Strange, and so plans to do like more than one playthrough. So keeping it short lets them do multiple playthroughs and be different Alexes.
You know, you know what would have been interesting is I would have paid full price if they included like a small soundtrack you can download or
Oh.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do kind of see the price argument, and I typically don't like to argue about price, but I think for this one, yeah, I kind of agree, but I don't know if it being longer would have even justified the price, in my opinion. Like, I think for a game like this, it's really difficult to say. Like, I think I'd be more comfortable if, like, let's say, like the graphics were even more realistic in a way, so that there's like a lot more expressions that you can tell from the faces. Um, but yeah, that's that's one way of doing it, I
So
think.
what you're
Or buying it in a bundle
That's
is a great
what you're
idea.
telling me is they need to go over to Guerrilla Games, beg them for their facial capture software and animators so they could put them into Life is Strange.
If done right, it could be cool. I think Horizon itself, the newest one, steps into like the uncanny valley in a way.
Mhm.
So I'm not super drawn to that game, funny enough.
I think because sidestepping into Horizon for just a little tiny bit. Horizon, because I played Horizon 1 and the animations are atrocious. Like it's pretty bad. They're horrible. Um, but I got the game years after release, and I got the DLC bundled in, so I got to play the Frozen Wilds DLC. And you go up this mountain, and the game loads you into this new area. And as soon as you step in and see the new people, facial animations are top tier. They look amazing. They emote well. Voice
Mm-hmm.
act or the lip match actually works. Then you complete that and you go back down the mountain into the base game, and then go back to the shitty ass like blah blah blah, and like their eyebrows don't move, their cheeks don't move, and I'm like, oh my god, oh.
That's funny.
So I know in West they've even improved it even more, which is probably where you get into that whole uncanny valley thing. And they can just
Yeah.
take some of that tech and put it into Life is Strange, which the facial features for Life is Strange. I think Alex has probably the best facial because she is the main character. We see her the most, so her facials are actually quite good.
Okay, I
But
can't wait.
yeah, but this pushes us into certain territory. I will let Kagros push us into.
Push me in, baby.
Oh, hold on. I want to make sure we cover all the spoiler-free topics, and then once, because the thing is, once we get to the spoiler territory, the floodgates are going to open, and who knows what we're going to get into. So, the last thing I want to talk about is, when we first watched the trailer for this, we were like, this is basically a Netflix series, right? Like, it's Netflix quality. This has the feel of a Netflix series. So, what do you guys think about, games that have similar feels to like a Netflix series? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that the game could be made into a Netflix series?
I would only say yes because Netflix is getting into gaming,
Mm-hmm.
and what's so critical about this storytelling is that you need to make choices. So as long as they keep the choices, I think yeah, fine. That's my cheap way of getting out of this. Um, as I think if you turn it into a linear storytelling like medium, you're gonna have IDK be upset, very upset.
I think it goes both ways. I think if they do another, what was it? They put out that one, like, quote unquote game. It was like a movie. It was a movie where you could pick choices, and like the movie would change based on your choice.
Was it Black Mirror? Was it Black Mirror? One of the Black Mirror games?
Uh, it wasn't
Is
Black Mirror.
it's from the series. It's called Bandersnatch or
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. Bandersnatch. I actually played that with my sister. She wanted to show me it. That was actually pretty cool. If they
Very
did
cool.
the story of this game in that style, I think it would be pretty nice. But let's say they couldn't. They had to make it a traditional TV series. I think it'd be possible. They would just have to do an average of like the choices, which means it's not going to satisfy anybody, but you have the most balance. Like I don't want Alex going down either path too solidly, I guess to say. Like there are certain choices you make that go towards one direction. There are certain choices you make that go towards another one, and I'd want them to balance it out so she stays kind of in the middle. It might get boring, but it would help prevent it from falling too far one way.
Well, the thing is, I feel like that's what this game does. And I actually think this game does it very well. Because the ending itself is pretty much, there's only really one ending.
No, there's multiple endings. It's just based on your choices. Anyways, no spoilers. Anyways, so I want to do say that I think the writing is good enough for it to be a Netflix series, even if it's completely linear, because I feel like I think what makes it similar to a Netflix series is the writing is really character driven, and the game focuses like there is a plot, like there's obviously a plot, right? But the main point in the game, no, this isn't. I don't think this is a spoiler. The main point in the game is to get to know is building relationships with other characters in Haven. I think that's a very big part of the game, and I think that's also a very big part of the Life is Strange series to begin with. Anyway, having not played the other ones, but I'm pretty sure it's very very similar in other games. So I think that making a Netflix series that is linear and that focuses and you would shore up the choices by basically figuring out what the characters would actually do. And when I was playing Life is Strange, all the choices I made with I made them I tried to ask myself the question, what would Alex actually would do in this case as a character? And I think that if they made a Netflix series that did do that, I really think that they could turn this into a linear game while still keeping a lot of it will not be the same because the choices they actually do matter in this game. But I think that they can deliver a similar impact still even if the story was linear. So, yeah. But that's the joy of video games compared to traditional media, right? It's the fact that we can make choices. We control the character, right? You can do what you want. So while it may not be as individually powerful to people, I still think that they could still deliver a very emotional story as a Netflix series. So
I agree with that.
I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if they turn this into a Netflix series because it's very easy to convert this game to a Netflix series. Like, let's be honest here, right? It's not like Sonic, right, where there isn't much of a story, or like Zelda, or heck, even Assassin's Creed. Like, this thing is a very, very easy thing to convert into a Netflix series because, like, I'll use Assassin's Creed as an example because they've actually made an Assassin's Creed movie, and I believe it's an original character. But if they tried to make Assassin's Creed 2 into a movie or even a series, it'd be really, really difficult because there's just so many characters. Like, Life is Strange True Colors, the cast isn't actually, it's pretty diverse, but there aren't actually that many characters. Like, you can cast them all into a series and have it be very manageable. But yeah, I think
Here's the kicker. Sorry, here's the kicker. There is a movie for Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
The reason why you don't know about it is because it did terribly.
Yeah, I know it did terribly. But I think a lot of this stuff would translate well. That's why and
Yeah.
in movies, right? The reason why games don't make good movies is because they haven't figured out how to do how to transition them from one medium to another medium. It took them a long time to figure out comic books, and now the Marvel universe is like like one of the top. It's like the most popular franchise in the world now, right? So I do think that eventually they'll figure it out. But Life is Strange could easily be converted into a Netflix series. So I would not be surprised if we saw like a couple of years down the line, hey, we're announcing a Netflix adaptation of Life is Strange. I'm like, yeah, well that actually makes sense. Like, it actually makes sense. It's really easy to do.
I mean, it makes more sense to do that than a Amazon Prime series of God of War.
Did they announce that, or is it?
Yes.
Just... Oh, okay.
I mean, they're tentatively planning it. I am not sure if I will tentatively watch it.
Well, I mean, God of War should be easy to do too, right? It's just Kratos being angry and killing gods, right? How hard can that be?
They have big shoes to fill. Very big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and it will
Never,
need a big budget. It will need a big
never
budget.
underestimate the stupidity of Hollywood executives.
No.
Never.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But apparently they have The Last of Us. So I think
Yes.
that's a good litmus test to see if they can, really translate games into shows. And Halo too. Halo for that fact.
Halo will be interesting if we're going to go on this little tangent. Also, the Uncharted movie came out, and I have no interest in watching it, but apparently it did very well. So we'll probably be seeing more
A
of
lot of
those.
people were saying it was going to do really bad, but I'm actually happy. I'm really happy it did well. I think people.
Well,
I think people just don't like what's his name, Tom Hiddleston, because they think he's too short.
well,
I thought it was the other way around.
I thought people were going to like Mark Wahlberg as Sully, which I didn't agree with at all, because I thought Sully should be an older actor. But, oh well, bring in the Wahlberg. He can always Wahlberg it up.
Wahlberg it up.
I mean, he won't do bad. He just won't do great. And people wanting an action adventure movie, they got that. Cool.
But, all right. So before I want to make sure I got everything. I covered everything here. Give me 1 second here. Let's see here.
We're all waiting for that Sonic 2 movie, okay? That's all that matters. That's the only,
it comes out next month. I'm ready, guys. I don't know about
that's
you
the only
guys.
video game movie that I want to watch. There's no other movie I want to watch except for Detective Pikachu. Bring that on. I'll be there. Roasties.
More like sitting in the back.
Oh yeah.
Throwing popcorn. Come on,
Sitting in
man.
the back.
Oh man, where's my live action? Where's my live action Digimon movie? Come on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I have a. Okay. All right. So I think it's time to get into spoiler territory. So let me.
Let's go.
Spoiler.
All right. So, you know, the first thing we gotta talk about. All right. So the spoiler tag is on. So you don't want to be spoiled, just mute. But I think from now on we're gonna. So for those of you that don't want to be spoiled, you should mute. But just to let you know, we're gonna turn it off eventually when we get to the final rating. And then after this, we'll be doing a character tier list because we always do tier lists. That's kind of our thing. So, anyways, story
There's
time.
another 2 hours of debate and discussion. It's gonna be another 2 hours. Oh boy.
All right, story boys. What did we think about the plot?
Okay, so are we gonna like talk about overall story and then go down to chapters, or
I mean, if you want, it's whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's start with the overall story. What do you guys think of the story? What? All right, actually, here, let me open up this. What was your favorite part of the story?
Gabe dying.
What?
Yeah.
What?
oh, I'm being genuine. I think chapter 2. I really like chapter 2 the most.
I mean, I think to elusify that it wasn't the actual act of Gabe dying that I liked. I was horrified by that. Another older Asian brother dying in media. What is with this hate? But yeah, that twist, baby, and having Alex having to come to grips with that and leading with this little world he was going to introduce her to and like comfort her in and bring her into, and then suddenly he's gone. And now she's just in his world, trying to deal with that.
Literally
on her
living in
own.
his room. Literally living in his room.
Living in his room, working his job, hanging out with his friends. Like, she just straight up replaces him.
Yeah.
But she has to deal with all that stress and pressure while being the outsider. I suppose this I've been thinking about this actually quite a bit. And I think it's kind of a critique on the game. I didn't actually really like the fact that they revealed at the very end of the game when Alex is in the mine that her father died down there. At first, I thought that was it's an emotional appeal. Like, oh my goodness, yeah. Turns out
Okay, did Kagros find the crack in the wall in chapter 1
Yes, I
or
did.
chapter 2?
Chapter
Did.
1 in the apartment, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, we found it.
I think if you didn't run into that, I can see why you're feeling that way. But because you know about that crack and you know that Gabe was trying to find his dad,
Yep.
and all along his dad was in Haven
Yeah.
at the very end is to me was
Yeah.
I thought that
I did
I thought
catch
that
it.
Okay.
I
tied
mentioned it on the
it in
stream.
very well.
I mentioned it on the
Okay.
stream when we found it that it made
I
sense.
think
It made sense because that's why Gabe was there in the first. Like Gabe needed a reason to go to Haven.
Yeah.
He wasn't there for no reason, right?
I
He was
guess
trying to find them, and like the police just said that, hey, like we don't know, and pretty much denied it. That's like literally foreshadowing.
I
Yeah,
must have
that's
missed
pretty
that in
incredible.
my watching of the playthrough. To be fair, if you're not playing the game, sometimes you don't focus as much. But yeah,
IDK, you cheapskate.
it's free. It's free. Unfortunately, you miss something sometimes. Yeah, okay, then never mind. I retract my statement. And for me, it felt like because I didn't see that part. I'm like, yeah, why the hell's? Why would you throw her
No.
father randomly
I-
in the mine?
I think IDK, your problem. I think the same problem I had is like the pacing, right? This is another one of those things where like a lot of the story gets told in the back 20% of the game. Literally, the back 20% is chapter 5. Like I said, I think they could have had another chapter. Like I understand what they were going for. They were trying to make it very powerful. Like this is actually Alex's struggle, and she has to overcome it on her own. But I think they could have put her backstory like in another chapter. Like I said, like I mentioned previously in the non spoiler section, they could have put another chapter between 4 and 5, and I think that chapter to explore Alex's backstory, I think that would have been a lot better than her like on the brink of death trying to survive the mine. I think they could have. I think they should have spread out her backstory a little bit more, because like that. Like I think that's definitely a pacing issue. You were like, oh, how come everything just has to line up in the final chapter? Like it was. I understand. Like it made sense because they have to. You connect all the dots at the same time, but I think they could have done the pacing a little bit better in that regard.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm feeling. It's the pacing, and then it's also the issue of her
You get
walking
this
out.
big info dump. You get this big info dump, right? And
Big info dump, and she finds the locket, and then she manages to escape the mine by herself while injured, and walk all the way to town. Like, come on, come on.
That's some superhero shit.
That's like
That's some Gabe
straight up.
backup. I actually love that. I in terms of having more chapters, I do agree with that. I actually think they can have 2 chapters. One
So
that one that like focuses on Alex's upbringing,
yep.
which I think could have been like a prequel to the first chapter. Like it'd be really interesting to see like how she would be like before she went to Haven in a way.
I think they could have had a prequel where the events, because if you read all the phone stuff, you know that she freaked out multiple times.
Yeah.
But I
And then
think if they did do that, it would set, because first impressions are actually really important. So if you had got that kind of first impression from about Alice, I think it would have negatively affected the player's view of her if she just freaks out. I think that it would have been good, like kind of in the middle, to show like why she came here. But
I guess maybe the kind of point I wanted to get to was like I wanted to root for her to be going to Haven.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that, but you do kind of get once she like gets along with the community that like she's like very fortunate to be here. And then I think another chapter I kind of wish was kind of like chapter 4, which was like hanging out with Ryan and Steph. Kind of wish they had more development.
Yep.
Because I wanted the results to hurt you even more by the end of chapter 5. If that made sense.
The results? What do you mean the results hurt you even more?
Like having either friend like
Not
support you at the end.
Yeah.
Which hurt me a lot, and I really liked that. Yeah, in terms
Interesting.
of pacing, I thought I don't know. I don't know how else it could have tied better, to be frank. Like, kind of like you kind of mentioned this, Kagros, about like how the bad guy is always someone who and like they've already like gone through the list, right? So like, I just don't know how they could have prolonged it story was.
Yeah, so I think it was you could always spend more time developing characters, in my opinion. You could always spend
Mm.
more time developing characters, and I think certain characters were underdeveloped. So I think with an additional chapter, you also could have developed those characters. Anyway, but since, frick, what did you just say before that?
Having 2 chapters.
No, not that.
Um, Finding out that it's Jed.
No, not that. Before that. Hold on, let me read.
Pacing.
No, it wasn't the pacing. Let me read the notes here. Correct. I was ready to retort.
Having like another chapter based on Ryan or Steph and Steph.
Oh, no, I remember now. So actually, in our playthrough, we got blanket support.
That's
Everyone
right. That's
supported
right.
us. Everyone supported us
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like we lived. So going back to the decision that screwed you was the Charlotte decision, and this is what I mentioned in the non-spoiler section.
There were two.
Okay,
Go on. Go on.
well, one of them was the Charlotte decision. So me and IDK, we sat at the decision screen for a long time. We were agonizing about it. We're like, do we take it or do we leave it? And ultimately,
Hold on.
oh yeah,
Is it? I want to say this is the first choice that's been the most difficult, right? Because the prior choices before that have been pretty easy, or like it
I
hasn't
think
been
yes,
as
I think the only choice that was difficult was the Ethan choice, but
okay.
that
Okay.
ultimately didn't matter. That choice didn't actually matter. Charlotte was the first choice that was hard and actually mattered,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Go on.
I mean, I think the Mac
Oh, all
choice
right,
was
all right.
great.
Anyways, ignore IDK.
Okay.
So,
We understand.
so for the Charlotte, me and IDK, we were sitting there, we were agonized about it, and we were talking about it, and ultimately, we're like, if we take away her anger, like she literally, anger is all she has. If we take it from her, then she's gonna be a shell of a person. Like she has nothing. She literally is filled with anger. We can't take it from her. We should just leave it with her because that's what's keeping her going. So we're like, we shouldn't take it because we didn't realize that if you take it, Alex gets angry. Like she actually takes the anger. She literally takes the anger. So we're like, I think we should leave it in her. And then I remember like after we click leave it in her, and then I remember asking Andy like, oh shoot, did we make the wrong decision? And we actually didn't realize it, but it was actually the correct decision because I read later on that I think this happened to you is that when you leave her and you go back to the Black Lantern, Alex freaks out on her friends and gets angry at them,
Yeah.
which ends up causing the person. It's actually Ryan, I believe, or the person that's not your love interest will betray you in the end at the at the in the final chapter.
Dang.
So not to jump forward, but because of your reasoning with Charlotte, what about Pike? When you're kind of faced with the same decision of like, do you take his feelings or not?
Pike was different. Like the thing is, like Charlotte was literally just fueled by anger. For me, Pike was very straightforward. Like we should just take away his fear so that he can actually like I felt like Pike actually wants to help us, but he's afraid of Typhon. So for us, Pike was pretty. For me, at least, I thought it was pretty easy. Just take it from him. Just take it from him.
Yeah, with Charlotte, it was definitely a back and forth of like, if we take the anger, she'll just deflate and become nothing. Anger is literally all she is. With Pike, it was like, no, he's courageous. He wants to be the police officer. He wants to solve this case, but he's afraid, deeply afraid. He's been tormented by these fears for a long time. So it's like, well, we want him to do his job. Let's take away the fear and see what happens, what emerges from that. And then we get a lion. So there we go.
Yeah, and I think That's so interesting because that's how I felt, but the complete opposite.
Oh,
So
really?
Oh.
like, so I think we kind of chat about this where so I decided to take Charlotte's anger because the way that she was communicating that she really hated Ethan and she talked about, there was some sense of like harm, like whether it was self-harm or harming Ethan, and it got
Mhm.
really scary.
Hmm.
And because of that, I thought of Ethan, and that's why I decided to take her anger. And I actually didn't know what the repercussions were.
Mm.
Like I thought that she could have been a normal person, kind of similar to how you guys, determined to take Ike's, anxiety away or
Hmm.
fear away. So I did that, and then when she came a shell of a person, I was like, oh shit, I think I did the wrong thing. So fast forward to Pike, I get the same opportunity because what I experienced from Charlotte and just like the the risk that I would take to put my friends in danger, that's why I didn't take away his fear. So,
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
and that's why at the very end I didn't get support from both of them.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
It's okay. Eleanor's always got your back.
So no, but I think no matter like how the endings could have resulted for anyone, I thought that still think like just how the game played out, like it was so good. Like, I'm really happy actually with the decisions that I've made. Um, I'm sure like I would have been as happy if I had everyone's back. Maybe not as happy if no one backed me up. That would have been hella fucked up.
It's okay. And your love interest was Steph, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Don't worry, Steph's always got your back.
Yeah,
No matter what decision you made, she would always have your back. She's got you.
but it's kind of like I really liked how everything turned out. Like at the end of the day, I felt like this game really made you feel like a director
Hmm.
way, and it actually kind of, at least for me, like really really liked how the story crafted for my preferences and my decisions. So I think it would be the same for you guys as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it was. I thought it was cool, but but then again, we also had a full sweep, so we had a full sweep.
Yeah.
For me though,
I.
all right, I think it's time. I think it's time to let IDK go off. But I have been dreading this moment. I've been dreading this moment. So for me, I felt like the Mac decision had no consequence, and I feel like I think that Mac is one of the most underdeveloped characters in the game, and I feel like he was very underutilized. So, anyways, I'll
Oh,
let IDK.
oh,
IDK, what are
oh,
your feelings on Mac?
oh! I'll give you underdeveloped. That's right. Yeah, I think he should have been underdeveloped more. I think he should have been buried. I don't think he should have been in this game at all. Fuck that guy. Fuck Mac. I don't like him. He's rude. He's stupid. I don't like him. I think he should suck a dick. He's a loser.
Oh,
And
come
go
on,
and go
IDK.
and go
Come on.
choke on a banana. That's all he is.
Now we
No,
can't monetize from Twitch. Look what you've done.
no, but seriously, that this is going back to our previous conversation. That my viewpoint as a sort of hang on, a strangler, so like just watching someone else play through, and be given the option to like try to help with decisions. Now, for the record, Kagros would not listen to my decisions on Mac. He would completely ignore me and do what he wanted to do. I'm curious to see how my decisions would have changed the game potentially. It doesn't seem like it would have changed it that much at
No, it
all.
would not have changed it at all. The only thing it would have changed was his interactions with us.
Yeah. Well, considering I didn't like the guy to begin with, now the root of my dislike of this character comes down from I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, he was afraid. Well, he was under scrutiny. well, he was always being judged by everyone. That's fine and dandy, okay? My only problem with that is, before we know any of that, our first introduction to the character is literally him beating up our brother in our house. Just knocks on the door, and Gabe's like, "Hey, what the hell you want?" And then he just comes charging in, and then we gotta beat his ass. You see, the thing is, you come into my house, you beat up one of my brothers. There is 0% chance we will ever be friends. We will be mortal enemies. I will beat your ass. I will make you bleed. I will bury you in the backyard. You do not come to my house and do that shit.
So
That is why Mac he's dead to me. He's dead.
I understand
There
the
was
rage.
no chance. There was no chance for him to ever redeem himself.
Hey, IDK, let's play a game. Let's play a game. I'm gonna come over to your house and I'm gonna beat up your brother. What are you gonna do?
You're dead. I got a spot for you in the backyard. I'll dig it. I'm gonna dig it. I'm gonna bury you.
I feel like if I tried to beat your brother, I think I would end up. I don't think he would need your help. I think he would just beat me up, dude. I think he's bigger than you.
He's pretty big.
Yeah.
He's throwing bags and now he's driving forklifts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could probably beat me up too. Shit, he's pretty buff. The only thing I got in him is weight. I can just throw my weight at him and he'll be like, "Oh." No, that. And it's kind of crazy how I know he's a troubled character. I know he should have gotten more development. It could have resolved him and redeemed him. I know all this. But the fact he did that single thing at the beginning of the game really turned me off on him. Really made me dislike him. Really makes me wish there was an option to like see him at the dock and like push him in the water. Like, ha! Get in the water, you freak.
Okay. So, like I said earlier before, first impressions are very important. And definitely they are things that all writing staff should take into account. The first impressions are very, very important. Just like what we have witnessed here with IDK said.
The outrage. So I think because of how outraged IDK is, I actually think Mac has been developed enough. And I think the way that I think the reason why you feel that he's not developed enough is not because of the writing per se, but it's because of the background that he's been given. And the reason why he doesn't show up later in the game is because you realize that he pretty much ran out of town. Like he feared Typhon so much that he fled the town, and that's why you didn't see him ever again.
Oh, did you take away his fear, or did you comfort him?
I calmed him down.
Interesting, because he didn't leave town for us.
Well, still the conversations about like how Typhon's watching everyone, you realize that he left the town just based on not seeing him. And
no, he's there.
He's
there. What are you talking about? He's in all the chapters.
I never see him in any.
He was at the festival in chapter 4.
Oh,
in chapter 4,
okay.
He was at the festival. We talked to him.
I see.
And then he says I was wrong about you. He says I was wrong about you. It's like you're literally he says you're okay, Chen. That's what he says.
I see.
Yeah.
Because
I remember because like we talked to him and IDK was like, this guy's such a creep. I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's okay. Like, what's wrong?
He literally a comment about you being into him. I'm like, you motherfucker, you fucking slugged my brother, and then you killed him, and then you think I'm into you? Fuck off.
Well, he didn't say that. It was a joke.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he can suck a dick in a banana, because that's all he is.
No. Yeah, no, he didn't leave town. He was...
No, I disliked him just... Maybe not as much as IDK, but I still disliked him, even though I, made different choices for him. But for some reason, I thought he wasn't in town, and that kind of justified to me why he wasn't developed as much.
Yeah,
but
he did.
I don't think he. To me, I don't think he needs any more development. Like, why should he?
All right, all right.
I
all
really
right.
don't
Okay.
understand.
All right, here. All right.
Well, here's the thing. There was that email. So there was a message somewhere. I remember we read, and it was about how he wanted to flee town with Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in chapter 2. That was in chapter 2.
That's in chapter 2.
Yeah.
Like when we changed her future to where she left town by herself to go to college.
No, the him leaving with Riley was one of the things that eventually we confront him in chapter 2, and that's how we found out that Typhon was the one that was that told him not to talk. But all right.
But they built that into the game where he could theoretically disappear.
Yes, yeah, no, he could disappear if you didn't calm down. He would run away, or I don't know why Juicy never saw him, but there is, based on some choices, he can also run away too. That is one of the choices. But anyway,
Sounds good to me.
You guys are talking crap about my boy Mac, saying that, oh, why do we need to develop him? You know, it brings to mind.
Brings nothing. It brings nothing. I'd rather have more development in Ducky. I'd rather have more development in Diane. I'd rather have more development in Eleanor.
Let me finish. Let me finish here. There was one character that we all hated. We absolutely loathed this character. Like, this guy was bottom trash. Like, why is this person in the game? And then Persona 5 Royal came out, and he became the best character ever written in the game. That is what good writing and character development does. It takes a shitty character, turns them into a god tier character.
Gonna happen to Mac. Mac's not gonna pull an Akechi.
Yeah, no, he absolutely can. I feel like. I know. Look. You know, obviously, I'm saying this stuff because I want to make drama here. But I think Mac should have gone in the development arc. I honestly think that if they put the time in, like I said, a lot of characters could have been developed a lot more, and Mac's very easy to develop. This was a freaking give me. Like, it's a freebie. I think they could have written a redemption arc for him. Like, he realizes that, like, he fucked up, and he wants to make amends to Gabe for treating him like, for accusing him and stuff like that, so he helps Alex in whatever way. I think it could have been written that way. Absolutely. And I know we had to talk about more specifics in our group chat, but I honestly think that we could have made a redemption arc for him because people can change, right? And I think being able to actually see Alex's actions directly change someone, I think that could have been a big plus to the game, in my opinion.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let me design the story just for IDK, okay? So you do get this redemption arc, or for Mac. Mac is like having a lot of regret. His anxiety is building up, and you see him by the dock, and he says to Alex, "I'm going to take my life," and you get a choice to either help him or not. IDK, this is a perfect arc. We have a win-win situation. You can let him die, or we can save him. Hey, you can kill him off.
No. Here's where I'm gonna give you your redemption arc. You ready for this? This is gonna be some A tier writing, okay? I hope you're ready for this. Okay? So, when Jed is taking Alex to the old mine, tell her about it, and then to eventually shoot her. You want to redeem Mac? Have Mac take the bullet instead. He's following them. He's watching to see, and he sees what Jed's about to do. And he runs out and blocks Jed from shooting Alex, but in turn accidentally pushes her into the mine. And then you find out later that Mac died because of Jed. For his sacrifice, everything will be exposed. That's the only way you redeem him for me. He has to die a tragic hero. That's it.
I don't want him to be a hero, first of all. We talked about this.
Hero, if it's anti-hero, whatever. He sacrifices himself and redeems his horrible character by dying.
I don't want him to sacrifice. I want him to take his own life. That's the redemption.
Oh my goodness, you guys are so bad. You guys are terrible. Look, you guys gave Akechi a second chance. Why can't we give Mac a second chance? What's wrong with you guys?
All right. Because Akechi had a tragic backstory. I
Who
feel
gives a
for the
shit, dude?
guy. I don't feel. I don't
Did
feel
you give a
for
shit about
Mac
Akechi's backstory? Be
1
honest, dude. You didn't give a
second.
shit about his backstory.
I don't give a shit about Mac for 1 second. Akechi, a little bit. He was still a shithole, but you can feel a little bad for him because
No,
of his
absolutely
shitty
not.
ass father.
I felt like what you feel for Mac. I felt that way to Akechi. I remember
I mean,
talking to
he
Sunset
was.
about this. I talked to Sunset about it, and we're like, dude, I wish you just died, like just straight up died. This is before Royal came out, but then I remember talking to Sunset about this, and we were both like, this guy's bomb in the trash. No,
I mean,
unredeemable.
his father was a dick. He has a horrible, tragic backstory. But you're right. The character was awful. Like him dying wasn't really that big of a tragedy to me. It was like, oh well, bye bye. Finally, Mac. Oh, Mac, you ain't it.
Guys,
You
You
ain't
know
it.
why? You know why he's not comparable? They could have just added this in. They should let you play pool with Mac. That's what you need. You need to play pool or like have a beer with Mac or go to the jazz club. That's all I'm asking for. That's not. But they didn't have that. So I'm waiting for the director's cut, and then yeah, you could win me back. Let's say Mac does take the bullet. That'll be hilarious.
so
Yeah.
Obviously, Mac will break up with Riley anyway, right? Like they break up in your playthrough, right, Juicy?
Uh,
Because I know
it was
I know you protected Mac.
yeah,
Right?
it wasn't extremely clear, but Riley mentions that she's thinking of breaking up.
I see. Because like I think one redemption arc I don't want to see is them getting back together, especially after what happened. I'd rather see redemption if they are not like the only redemption arc possible in that scenario is just he just learns to move on and let's go of his insecurities about his relationship with Riley and realizes that he messed up. Like I think even something like that, like yeah, come on, I think that's a very human. It's a very human story like that, right? Come on, guys, come on. This guy's like he has no future going on. It's understandable why he's so angry and so mad at the world. Come on, guys, you need to be like Alex. You need to have some more empathy, okay, for this poor guy.
Right to jail. Bullet to the head.
I I honestly thought he fled town, so I was happy with that. I was happy with that decision. The fact that he was around this whole time really kind of creeps me out. I think I need to replay chapter 4 because I don't remember seeing him chapter 3.
He's in the festival. He's at the festival.
He's in the
That's
festival.
weird.
I don't
That's
know if
so
he
weird.
makes. I don't know if he makes mention of leaving. But
No. He in our playthrough he never mentioned leaving again after we calmed him down.
But he didn't mention we were crazy for going against Typhon though.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
well,
mentioned we were
good.
crazy for going against them though. Yes,
Like,
he did mention.
good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what like really built that story for me was like text at the very end of the game when you get to scroll through the text and you see him text you back.
Mhm.
It's like, oh yeah, like I can't believe you did that.
I think I can't remember what he said in our text too, so I can't tell you that. All right, so we gotta move a little faster now. So, who is your guys' favorite characters? Favorite characters. All right, I'll go first. I'll go first. I already have my answer. So for me, my favorite characters were Alex and Gabe. I really liked their relationship together, especially Gabe. Even though he was literally in the first and fifth chapter, I think he had a very profound presence in the game, and I credit that due to the writing in the game, and like because he basically lives on in all the inhabitants, and we all got to see his interactions with them. Especially like in chapter 2 and chapter 3 when after he passed away. But I don't know. I really like Gabe as a character. I can't believe he's younger than us. I still can't believe he's younger than us, but he seems so much more mature, and like he really, we were talking. I was talking about a redemption story for Mac, but like Gabe, he is a redemption story, right? You find out like all these things. He has been living his life trying to make up for all the wrongs he did. Like you saw on the notepad, right? Like he had a list of people he wanted to basically pay back or like to make things right with them, and he really wanted to do that. So like Gabe is the actual redemption story in the game, and yeah,
And he lived it, which is super awesome.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I really like Gabe a lot. Um, actually, I kind of want to flip the question. Like,
Mhm.
I thought Steph and Ryan were just okay, and I wish there was more development for both of them.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
can see
I,
that.
but that's why I really liked Chapter 2 so much because you get to really get to know those two characters, and I think Chapter 4 tries to do that again.
But
Um,
with only one character though.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I wish they did more of that in Chapter 4 again,
Mm-hmm.
and then also have the nighttime festival.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Alright,
who
who's your
did I
favorite character?
like?
The psychiatrist in Alex's head,
Lynn, Dr. Lynn.
Dr. Lin.
Really?
No, not at all. What are you talking about, man? That,
Really, IDK.
that twist was pretty good, though. I was like, damn, it's all in their head. But I think obviously everyone loves Alex. Gabe was pretty cool too. For majority of the game, I love Jed, but
IDK was
I think so.
heartbroken. Was
It was
heartbroken when he
cool.
pulled that gun.
It was cool. When I pulled out the gun, I was like, damn. Well, no, when they were going up the hill, I was like, no, there's something wrong here. Like this can't be. And then Jed pulled out that gun. I was like,
Alex is like,
you
why are you
son,
feeling so sad? Why are you feeling so sad? And I'm like, IDK, this is it.
you son of a bitch. Um, anyone else? You know who I found myself feeling neutral on? Ethan.
Oh, I actually didn't like him. I hated him
I actually,
because he killed Gabe.
I actually, yeah. Well, that's the thing. He started off negative. I really disliked him for killing Gabe, basically being a little brat. I usually hate kids in video games. They're always really annoying. But LARP chapter, sort of like going through that experience, trying to help him, helped humanize him quite a bit. And in the end, he didn't go into positive territory, but he got out of negative territory. He ended up being this neutral character. Actually, I thought was all right.
Yeah, I think that's a close to a redemption arc as
Yeah, but the thing
possible,
is,
actually.
the thing with Ethan is that he actually knew it was his fault too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy because
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna avoid that topic,
Yeah.
which
No.
I'm glad they did it. It was like, yes,
Uh,
blame that boy because I fucking
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah, which makes him a lot better than a lot of other child characters in other
Yeah.
games where like a tragedy happens and they go, no, it wasn't your fault, it happens, and like, and they feel guilty about it, but then they're like, they get over it. No, Ethan is fucking torn up for like the entire game over the fact that Gabe is gone.
Yeah.
Just feels awful, and then you get to do that fun LARP segment.
Yeah, and then obviously we
And,
know that Charlotte blames him, blames him for it too. So
That's
Oh,
even
yeah.
crazier. I was like, yes, I want this, but no, I'm so afraid. I'm just so afraid.
so
Yeah,
So human.
mean-
It's just so human.
yeah.
yes, it was. But least favorite characters: Charlotte, I'm a bitch. Diane, fuck that hoe.
Oh yeah, Diane. Yeah.
Diane's just a super hoe. Anyone else? No, I can't think of anyone I really actively disliked. I think going back to favorites or neutrals, Pike. I liked Pike.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him, even though he's the cop. He had that stupid ass joke in the beginning.
Yeah,
What
I
was
was
it?
so I was so
They're
scared.
like, "Oh, you're under arrest," and I was like, "You motherfucker!" And then he's like, "Oh, it's just a joke. Come on." I'm like, "Fuck you, Pike."
Yeah.
But one guy I actually really liked at the beginning, and then ended up not liking over time. And even now, I'm kind of like so on him. Is Ducky? Like that was a character that seemed pretty interesting. And then you find out something happened in the past. He has a tragic backstory, and he's this really quirky dude. Then that's about it.
I mean, we don't really. I think we may have missed an item but I know that like his wife passed away and his daughter doesn't talk to him anymore or something like that.
Yeah, that's all we really know. And then we helped him at the night festival, and we got to dance with him. That's about it.
Yeah.
So he was a cool character. He was an oddball. It's like, Shauna Man, if you lived in this universe, what character would you be? And I'm like, I'm probably the Ducky.
Yeah, I feel like everyone was actually developed pretty equally. At the same time, everyone could have been developed better
Or
or developed more.
That's why we need
Like-
another chapter. We need another 1 or 2 chapters, right?
like we got a good taste and we want more, and then the game ends, and we're like, well, okay, I guess I'll have to wait for the next game, whatever that is.
Yeah, but the next game won't be about this. So yeah. So for me, I didn't
I
like
think-
Charlotte. I didn't like Charlotte at all. I think the writing for her was pretty bad. I understand, like, because like she was supposed to be like, oh, like it's your brother's girlfriend, and you're supposed to have a good relationship with her, right? But I feel like everything about her was just basically written. I don't know. I just feel like she was a very bland character, because like after Gabe passes away, she just like depressed. Even in our ending, when we didn't take her anger away, like she was just depressed and didn't talk much, you know. And she was supposed to have a good relationship with you, but that didn't end up happening. So I don't know. I think Charlotte was my least favorite character.
Well, at least she ends up finding another guy.
Yeah, she does, but
Yeah.
well, still, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think she was written very well.
I think she came off as selfish, and I can see why she's not very liked.
Mhm.
Just like all the characters, because it's just so human. It's like very justified, including Mac. I think his feelings are justified, albeit immature and.
Oh yeah. So actually, we were talking about this too when we were talking about Mac, and like IDK was like, you know, why is Mac so angry? You know, back when Mac jumps Gabe, but before Gabe passed, IDK was like, why is Mac like so angry in this? And I'm like, well, you do realize that his girlfriend, like, it's also Riley's fault too for not telling him what's going on. So he doesn't understand. He just see, you know, and he's making he's assuming the worst, which, you know, he's completely justified in, because Riley won't tell him what's going on because she can't handle it. She believes he can't handle it, but like she should have told him that, hey, I'm gonna go to college, right?
But he overreacts way too
You know,
easily.
of course,
Like,
but that's his character though, right? Because that's just his character. He's just like
it's
he's
so
just a bull.
shitty. It's so shitty though. Like, he's such a jealous, insignificant, insecure person. Like, man, you're just trash. Someone forgot to put you in the garbage can. Just fucking get in the can. Get in the can.
IDK.
Get in the can.
I
roll
think
you
it's
out to the
justified.
curb.
I honestly think his reaction, like, he overreacted, but him feeling that way is very justified, right? So like,
Or sorry, not justified, but very human.
yes,
Sure,
what I would
it's
say.
human. It's human. But I don't hang out with people like that, okay? I put those people in garbage cans and put them to the curb. Take them away, boys. Take them to the dump.
We know
Have a
your
good
virtues.
compost.
We know your values, IDK. Okay, we know you're a good human being. Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
you see. I just can't agree with him. I can't agree with him because he punched my bro.
All right.
Do you all
He
want to talk
crossed-
about the ending?
He crossed the
All right,
line.
let's talk about the ending. All right, the ending. Let's go, Juicy. Let's talk about the ending.
How'd it go with you all? Like, in terms of decision making.
So, we got a full sweep. Everyone's approval plus Ryan and Steph, and we ended up leaving Haven, or no, we ended up staying in Haven with Steph.
First, did you forgive Jed or denounce him?
No, we forgave him.
We begrudgingly forgave him.
Yes.
Did you guys take some time to decide?
For me, it was pretty quick. I think it was pretty quick, because, like I said, I tried to play the game as Alex, and Alex is a really, like, you know, she has a lot of empathy. That's literally her superpower. So I felt like it would be very out of line for her to be very vengeful and condemn him, like, because she understands everything. She knows everything that's going on, and, you know, and let's be honest here, like, Alex was pretty depressed, like, for most of her life, and usually people like that, you know, they understand the pain that other people have gone through. So Alex even more so. So I think that she could have I think she would have forgiven him, based on my reading of it.
Counterpoint: we got Super Saiyan eyes, and I wanted her to Ray Blast him to death.
I mean, she's gonna Ray Blast him to death no matter what, no matter which one you pick.
Just seeing the eye colors start flickering, and you're like, "Oh wow, she's going full power." Bring out the Spirit Bomb. Send Jed to hell.
The second major choice is towards the end after you call out Jed.
Mhm.
You have Alex claim that she learned the meaning of home. She learned not to fear her emotions, or she learned or she didn't learn anything in Haven.
I think she learned the meaning of home. I believe was the choice that I made.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too. What else? Okay, so for the future stuff, do you want Alex wanted to play her music in the future? Alex wanted to belong somewhere in the future, or Alex wanted to help more people in the future?
I think
Belong
she wants
somewhere?
somewhere to belong.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what else?
I I I think those choices affect what Gabe shows you. It decides what Gabe shows you, because he can show you Alex leaving as well with your love interest.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. So
I
for
think you. I think
we saw the same thing. We saw the same thing as you did. We saw Alex staying in Haven
I
with
see.
Steph.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah.
It's the same cutscenes, right?
Yes, absolutely the
Yeah.
same
Okay.
cutscenes. Pretty sure. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Well, yeah, I think it kind of makes sense based on the unanimous like backing up
Hmm.
in the community that you wanted to stay at
Right.
home.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I chose that she wanted to help more people in the future.
Hmm.
I didn't really care too much about the music because I thought she wasn't like
Hmm.
that talented in music making or anything like that, right? Like nothing in the game really showed that. And then like yeah, the decision if she stays in Haven or not, I'm like this town has it's over. I gotta leave. I gotta leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the reason why we chose to stay, me and RDK, I think we also talked about this too when we were making the decision, was that Alex has been spending her whole life looking for somewhere to call home. Like that's basically somewhere where she could belong. Like that's like one of the questions, right? Like literally, she's been looking for a family her entire life. So then, and now she finally found a family here in Haven. So,
Didn't Gabe say something like, home is where the heart is, or like, it's not about like where you are, it's about like how you make it or
mm,
whatever. Like he said something along the lines of like you'll always find a home
mhm.
wherever you are.
I don't remember this, but we felt that like Haven's your home now. You have a community. Obviously, it's because we got we got the full sweep, right? And like
Right,
finally,
right.
Alex found a place where she can belong. So we chose to stay. That's
Yeah.
why we chose to stay.
Yeah. My
So
feelings on the matter were that, I mean, this is the closest she's going to be to her family ever in the world, because both her brother and father are basically buried in this town.
so then what happens at the very end? Like for me, she's looking at her phone and she's like somewhere at a concert. She's about to perform before she and she's looking at her phone before
I don't
she gets
remember.
on
I
stage.
don't remember what happened at the very end, in the final
I'm
scene.
curious since you guys stayed in Haven.
I think she's sitting with Steph either on the dock or on the roof. Is
Oh,
my
okay.
guess. But I don't remember.
Uh, yeah, I think she was on the roof looking out at the horizon or sunset, something like that. She definitely wasn't at a concert getting ready to perform.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, yeah.
We didn't see that.
Yeah, I thought the ending was a tad bittersweet, but because of the choices I made, but I still really liked the game overall.
It's very interesting how your choices affected your ending decision. I think that really shows the impact of the choices we made. Even though their choices, the ending is, Jed always confesses no matter what. So there was
Mhm.
some criticism about your choice not actually mattering. But as you can see here from our takeaways of the ending, they still do matter because we
Yeah.
perceive the endings to be very different, which is what I do. I've been convinced that I think like I said, the plot doesn't actually really matter, right? Like Jed confessing or not, it doesn't actually matter. It's like the journey that we took to get here, and as you can see, we have arrived in different places, despite the ending supposed to be the same. But no, it's actually different.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, a great game overall. Man, I totally thought I fucked up because I was like, fucked up on Charlotte. I fucked up on Pike, and now I'm falling down the well. I'm gonna die. Get the bad ending. I really thought I got the bad ending, so
No, there's no
it's
bad
actually
ending.
very
There's no bad
relieved.
ending. The only bad
Ah,
ending I
thank
think is like
goodness.
you. Yeah, there's no bad ending.
Oh wait, what about when no one supports you?
Doesn't matter. Jed will still confess.
Oh really?
Yeah, Jed will still confess, even if no one believes you. Because your Super Saiyan powers, when you confront him directly, you break him and then he'll confess.
Oh.
Best graphics is that cutscene.
Uh,
Like when you're seeing like Jed's emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, so good, just so good. And I wish you had that like all across the game, or even with like even better graphics. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was very well done, very well done.
So, I have a note here on my. So I prepared a document to do my own individual review in case we weren't going to do this, but I actually think this game is actually very similar to The Last of Us One because The Last of Us One, there really isn't the plot isn't actually important. It's actually very character driven, showing the relationship between Joel and Ellie, as well as other people they interact with. I think this game is very similar to Last of Us One in that regard, and like I said, this game I think is very underrated in my opinion. Okay. All right.
So I'm looking at the doc too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying, is there anything else you guys want to discuss while the spoiler tag is up? Because there is one more thing I want to discuss, but I think we can discuss it with the spoiler tag down.
Are you gonna talk about best part of the game or worst part of the game?
No, that's not what I have in mind. You want to talk about that?
I have a very hot take on the worst part of the game.
Okay.
I actually did not like the LARP. Although I thought the design was like really cool. Like when you're RPing and just like the interface is like super basic, but when you actually get into like Ethan's imagination, like you actually get the like health bar and like the menu. That was really cool. I thought the LARP was just way too long. I was like, man, I just want to move on with the story. I don't want to collect these gems. Like, although it's really endearing to see like Ryan and Steph play their part. I was just like, speed it up, speed it up. I don't want to play this LARP.
I love the LARP. I love the LARP. Like the only thing only thing I didn't like about it was the battle system, which was very very basic. But like other than that, I felt it was really good, really immersive.
You didn't like the Final Fantasy 1 retread? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. The crystals. Come on. Don't tell me you didn't like the part where you get to trade. What was it? Yeah, it's for Steph. You get to do that flirty thing with Steph.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty
I like
funny.
That a lot.
That was pretty funny. Oh, I'll trade myself to you for this. And she's
I'll
like,
marry
what?
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll marry myself to you. She's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nah, man. I like the LARP. My least favorite part of the game. I don't know. I didn't really have a. I just didn't like the fact that we magically came out of the mine. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, how the hell did we survive a freaking falling down a mine shaft and walking back to town? How the hell did that happen?
It's all about Gabe. That's why Gabe is the best character. I believe it. I believe it. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I want to say.
I think my least favorite part of the game was Mac, but obviously beyond that,
ID Kid's got a hate bonus.
You just won't let it go. Just won't let it go.
I will never let it go. Never.
What if we had that? What if we had that redemption DLC? Would you buy it, play it, and have him kill himself?
Dude, if he knocks into Jed to save Alex, but pushes her into the mine by accident. It takes a shot to the head. Okay, his character turns around. He goes to A tier. And look, you can even have the secret ending where he survives the gunshot wound, becomes a different person. He gets a cool eye patch. He becomes Majima and moves to Japan. Anyways, yeah, Mac, not my favorite part. My favorite character, I guess, and his role through the story. Least favorite part of the game. I mean the hidden side quests, I guess. I'm not particularly fond of those things.
What do you
but-
mean? You didn't like helping those will they won't they couples get together?
I was not happy about the bird person we didn't help because
Oh,
yeah, me too.
we
Me
forgot. It's like, oh, I would have had my bird. Well, I don't know. I could have won. I'm like, oh, thanks.
It's okay because we didn't help him. Ryan won. Ryan won the bird spotting contest. So it's
Oh, yeah,
okay. It's a win-win.
that's right.
Interesting.
That's true.
I didn't even know you could look for the bird. Like I spoke with the bird watcher. I was like,
Oh.
okay, that's cool. All right, bye.
Yeah, it's a hidden quest, and like my experience from like trails in Cold Steel, where like they have tons of those, and you need like a guide to know where they are, or just get lucky. I hate them so much, especially when they block story behind them. Like I hate them so much. So the fact they had that in this game, a narrative game of all things, no
It
bueno.
didn't matter that much. It didn't matter that
It didn't matter that much. It's a nitpick. A nitpick.
All right. Anything else you guys want to discuss while the spoiler tag is up? Otherwise, there's one last thing
Nah.
I want to talk about.
Nah,
Go for it.
no more spoilers.
All right,
I'm
dropping
all
in the
spoilered
spoiler
out.
tag. All right. There is one thing that I think is very important to mention, and I know it's definitely very relevant to us, is the Asian American representation in this game. And obviously Alex is Asian, right? You can definitely tell her name is Alex Chen. You can just look at her and you can tell that she's Asian. And the Asian American representation in this game is done very, very well. You know, it was not done to check off something on a diversity list. Alex is very, very much Asian American, and her backstory, and as well as things in the background, I think they handle it very well. And like a lot of the stuff was very relatable to me personally. What do you think, Juicy?
So I think to specifically say that she's a Chinese American,
Mhm.
and the only thing that's a little off-putting, this is like I'm being legitimate here. Like, I think that lucky cat thing, I don't think that's a Chinese thing, right? I thought that's a Japanese thing because I didn't grow up having one in my house.
No, I've seen it before, but usually a Buddha is more prominent in
Yeah, like
Asian American culture.
So
East
just
American.
for some context, like lucky cat thing is it's more like a Japanese
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
real thing.
yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah, it's a
I
common
feel
Japanese
like-
figurine.
So just a tad inaccuracy there, but it doesn't diminish the fact that I do agree with Kagros. I think he did it pretty well. One thing got me questioning. So she's eating Chinese food. Where's a Chinese restaurant? I don't see it in the town. Where's the Chinese restaurant?
She made
I'm
it
very
herself, right?
disappointed.
She's running. She opened a restaurant in the back of the Black Lantern selling Chinese food. All right, come on, let's go.
It's terrible. Across the street, you have this African American guy opening up a restaurant. That's fine and dandy, but where's my Asian restaurant? I want some sushi, ramen, Chinese food.
You ain't gonna find sushi and ramen in a freaking small ass bite now. You might find
What-
Chinese food because Chinese food, Chinese. Actually, I want to call it Chinese American food restaurants are very, very common across even like the Midwest and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised to see that, but to see a sushi restaurant or a ramen joint, no, you're off your rocker, man.
They got the stream. I can see fish in there, but the thing is, I see the takeout boxes, Chinese takeout boxes, but no restaurant. I'm very mad. Points deducted. Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to do the tier list? We are kind of low on time.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I think it'll be
Sure.
a fast one, especially for
Okay. All
True
right.
Colors.
Let me. Let's see here. I guess I will just do this.
And then you've also give it a rating, which I
Oh.
personally
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
I feel the same way too.
Let's cover the rating. You guys want to give a letter grade or do you want to do a number?
It's honestly up to you. I personally have my own like game rating, which is based off of letters.
Okay. So I'll give both. So if I use the Open Critic rating, so Open Critic I think it has an 80 or 81 around there. I personally believe that the Open Critic rating for this game should have been 86 out of 100. I think it was very, very underrated. I think people were nitpicking way too much. Maybe they're not too familiar with this genre, but for a narrative game, this game really, it hits all the marks. Good soundtrack, great characters, great writing, great overall story. I honestly, and your choices actually do matter, even though, at the surface it may not seem like that, but clearly from our discussion, your choices do matter. And so I do think this game was underrated. I think it should be 86 out of 100 on the Open Critic. If I were to give it a letter grade, it would probably be a B or B plus.
Yeah, I'm leaning.
My main critique still is going to be length, because
I see.
I think it could have been longer and they could have developed characters better. But other than that, I think the game is very solid.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I would give it a B plus on my own personal rating, just for the same exact reasoning in terms of like having more character development. I don't know if it has to be longer. I could see it being worse because it's longer, but however they like develop characters, like I kind of wish it was a little bit better. And I don't know why, but for a game like this, the graphics kind of got to me. Like I kind of wish it had better graphics, just because it's such a narrative-driven, like emotional game. You could really use some eyebrows, and eye
Oh
wrinkles.
yeah. I also had some problem with the graphics, but I don't think for me it wasn't that big of a deal. What about you, IDK?
Yeah. Yeah, the mouse did look a little plasticky from certain shots and with certain lighting. A number and a grade. I think I would probably put it at an 84.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's not because of Mac, is it?
I give it a B plus. I deduct 1 point for Mac.
Jeez.
I deduct another point because Jed.
Oh,
Okay, I see.
it's okay. Don't be sad.
Breaking my heart like
Be-
that. How
You'll
could
be
you?
fine.
How could you?
You'll be fine.
All right, so let's get to the tier list. So I have a tier list here. I don't. You guys should probably open up your stream because if I can't share my screen here on Discord, otherwise it's gonna mess up the formatting here. But
Okay.
we have 5 tiers. We have S, A, B, C, and D. I've already gone ahead and basically removed all the characters from the other games, so we only have a couple characters left from True Colors. So we're actually gonna leave Alex last because she's the main character, and I feel like she should go last. All right, so we'll start out with Charlotte. What do you guys think? For me, like I said, she's my least favorite character. I think she belongs in the D tier.
Can we base characters based off of potential as well? Potential to having.
You can rate them however you like. I'm just gonna use by how much I like them or not. I don't really care about. I don't want to overthink it.
Sure. Yeah.
Charlotte.
I agree.
What do you think, IDK? Charlotte?
Tier.
What tier? D?
C.
C?
C.
You want C?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think she belongs on C.
Let's put her in C first,
Okay. Frick.
just to see if there's anyone worse than Charlotte.
I already know someone worse.
we know for you, IDK.
I
All
understand.
Right. Diane.
C. C as in cat.
C. Yeah, put her in the C, boy.
Diane in C as well. We have a lot of
Actually,
No.
like Actually,
B
want
tier.
Diane to be B tier. Yes, yes. Thank you, IDK.
What?
B tier, B
Diane
tier.
in D tier.
D?
E.
B.
B?
B.
B as in boy.
No, D as in dog.
D.
D.
I think she could have a lot more potential.
All right,
I think.
I think she's in C, so I think we're gonna put her as C. I think it averaged out as a C, so we'll leave her there for now. All right, Ducky. Ducky.
I think he's D tier.
D. D for Ducky.
He's not that interesting. He's. I guess
put-
for the same reasoning for Charlotte. They're just not that interesting. Yeah.
I put him C.
Put him in C tier for now. I think we have a lot of people in C, and we're gonna need to split them up between D. I'm just gonna tell you that. All right, Eleanor. Eleanor. I don't know. I think for me, I think Eleanor is a B because
Yeah, me too.
Her story does actually kind of matter. It's not that straightforward.
B.
Yeah, and especially seeing like her when you look at her and see her how she sees the world is pretty cool.
And then like just breaking her heart by telling her that Gabe passed. Oof.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Oh, did you tell? Oh yeah. I think we told her.
Yeah, of
It had
course.
to be done. Yeah.
I pushed for that because like we have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan.
Oh, Ethan.
Bottom of B tier.
I'm gonna put him in. He's a
Put him
little,
above his mom. Put him above his mom in C tier.
Sure, I can live with that.
All right, Gabe. S tier.
G tier.
Yeah.
He's God tier.
Gabe in the S tier. Everyone agrees here, right? Gabe in the
Yeah,
S tier.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, Steph. For me, I think probably A. I don't think she's as good as Gabe.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, A tier.
Jed.
A tier. He's definitely A tier.
What do you think?
I think I think he's better than Steph.
Oh, really?
Well, I would have put him top of B for breaking my heart. But
If that's the case, I'd rather put him below Steph because I think the one thing that hurts his character is I still feel like his like switch, the switch. Oh, I should turn on spoilers here. Shoot. Let me move this right here. Yeah. I do think that. Crap. Let me move the spoiler tank.
It's alright, you're gonna take it down later.
Yeah. I do think that the switch, I think it's still a little abrupt, and I feel like it's a little inconsistent with I think there are some inconsistencies with his character. I'd rather put him at I think for that reason I think he's below Steph, in my opinion. We can adjust.
I feel like Steph just flirts with you. I don't know. I don't.
Well, the thing is, Steph was in a previous game. We can't use that as a justification. I don't know. I thought Steph was very supportive.
she puts together the LARP that she was helping Gabe with, and then when Gabe dies, she continues doing it. She tries to help you out of your shell musically, and she's very supportive.
She's our love interest. Come on, man. She's
She's a cool character. She's a cool
Look
character
at these
too.
horny men talking about love interest. You know what's a love interest? Jed. Jed could have been a love interest.
hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. She has that badass cat, Valkyrie.
Yes.
That's gotta get some points. That's pretty cool.
You guys. All right.
All right. We're Sims. Sorry, just saying it as it is.
Simping. Y'all simping.
All right. I'm gonna move Mac straight to the D tier because I feel like IDK's hatred is just gonna overpower anything we say. So Mac straight to the D tier. Officer Pike.
Put him
B
B tier.
I would put him in B, in my opinion.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
I'm in the boy tier. He's a good boy.
Riley.
Boy tier. High in the boy tier.
Above Eleanor.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely doesn't belong in C tier.
Yes,
But she's
definitely.
not A tier. She's not A tier material.
It just really works. Like her and Eleanor. That's why I really like. I
Mhm.
really like the
Uh-huh.
relationship and like the
Oh, did
kind
you
of
talk to
decision.
Riley at the bus stop before she left?
I did. I ran there. I was like, okay, I gotta go say bye or something. I gotta go.
Okay,
Gotta go. Gotta go.
all right.
Yeah, pretty
I
good.
just tell her, go. Don't worry about your mom. I'll be here.
Yeah.
Psych! I'm leaving town.
All right. What about?
Damn.
Oh, spoilers, huh? Wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
Damn,
is
she
spoiler
next,
gonna
check
be
is on.
pissed.
next one.
She gonna be
I'm gonna leave
pissed.
it on. I'm gonna leave it on until we do the shuffling. All right, Ryan, A tier, right?
E tier for sure. Above Steph.
Oh, really?
Opinion.
You liked him more than Steph?
I like him because of chapter 2. It hit
Oh,
me pretty
is
hard.
that your favorite moment in the game?
Yeah.
When you tell Ryan?
It's just when Ryan's telling his story
Yeah.
and you just see the joy.
Mhm.
Just man. But also just the heartbreak too, and like how he's feeling so isolated. I just like resonated with him so much. So
All right, finally, Alex, S tier, right?
yeah, S
At the
tier.
top,
But
above Gabe, above Gabe.
I want to say she's below Gabe.
Wow.
Even though you play as her and you're rooting for her, you're always rooting for Gabe, like 100%. So like, there are times when Alex, you're like, you're a little like passive, whatever. But
I mean, Gabe, like when she's on the verge of death in the mine, he's coming back and being her big bro. Like, you know, he's the power player there.
he's catchy. He redeemed himself even though he's already good. He even got better. It's ridiculous. His power levels are too high.
All right. So let's do some tier list cleanup. So I think the S tier is locked. Gabe at number 1, Alex at number 2. We good with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then the A tier. What do you guys think here?
I think it's fine. I think everything is fine, honestly.
I think the C tier needs to be cleaned up a little bit. I think 1 or 2 people need to move down to the D tier. I'll concede Mac can be at the bottom of the D tier no matter who we put in there, but
I see what you mean.
Okay. I agree. I agree with A tier. I agree with B tier. C tier, I think we should push Diane. Diane should definitely go down. I don't think she should be in C tier.
yeah, I agree because
Yeah.
Diane is missing in most of the game. Like she doesn't show up in chapter 4. She's basically there as a walking plot point. That's it. She's just a plot device. We don't know anything about her. There's no story about her. I agree. She should be in the D tier.
I think she could have had a lot of potential.
I
If
think
any-
so too. I think it's a wasted
Yeah.
potential, but in what happened on paper, like she's just not in the like. I was looking for. I wanted to see her at the festival, but she was like, "Oh, I'm too busy." I'm like, "God damn, stop hiding from me."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she was a straight up antagonist where like you had no sympathy for.
Yeah. So definitely a very underutilized character. All right, the C tier order is also correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put Ducky above Charlotte. That's my personal opinion, though, because I like Ducky. I know you guys kind of didn't like Ducky that much.
I'm okay with putting Ducky above Charlotte too, because I didn't like Charlotte either.
The fact that Charlotte has a bond with Gabe makes me not want to move her, but I don't feel strongly.
Okay, because I don't think we got a good glimpse at that bond, to be honest with you, though. Like they didn't show it very well, in my opinion.
I think, yeah, maybe. I think just it's kind of shown through Ethan in a way.
Yes, yes.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So I get it.
We'll swap here. I mean, it's not. They're both C tier, so it's okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me. All right. So this is the definitive thumbstick adventurers tier list for the Life is Strange True Colors tier list. Our opinion is the correct opinion. So come at us if you disagree because you're just wrong.
Exactly. Exactly.
I can't wait for someone to put Mac in the C tier. If you put Mac in the C tier, IDK will come for your life.
Rough.
Do not like Mac. Otherwise, I will find you.
I think Diane is worse than Mac.
You think Diane's worse than Mac?
At this point, in terms of character development, yes.
IDK, what say you? I defer to your hatred.
I say Mac is the worst. Diane may have been antagonistic. She may not have much development. She may just be raw evil. But at least she was passive about it for the most part. Mac, he was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. Bad boys get punishment.
I don't know, man. I watch a lot of porn. I feel like bad boys get punished. They get rewarded a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Nasty. Y'all nasty. We're getting demonetized by the second.
Alrighty. Any closing thoughts?
This game was good. Go play it. I think opening credit grading I think is kind of based off of the prior Life is Strange games. So the series is definitely worth playing. Yeah, go play it.
Yeah. I really.
I would yeah.
Go ahead, IDK. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as a perspective of someone who just simply watched the game, wasn't actively playing it, I think it was a great time. And I think if you have someone you like to watch who streams games, and they play the game, you'll have a good time. It's a lot of fun seeing what people decide to do, even if it is different than you.
I mean, to be honest, IDK, I based most of our decisions we agreed with. So most of the game I was playing as you anyway. So yeah.
This is true. This is true.
I hope Square Enix continues to invest in this franchise. I really do think that they have a very solid IP in Life is Strange, and it's very hard to find an experience like this. I think in a lot of mainstream games, like. So I really hope Square Enix has they have high expectations for their games. A report came out recently that several of their games didn't perform as well as they would have liked, which was crazy. I forgot which one it was. It was Marvel Avengers was one of them. I remember there was another one. Oh, Tomb Raider. Like they set such crazy high expectations for Tomb Raider, and they're like, oh nope, didn't meet the expectations, even though it sold a crap ton. But yeah, I really hope they don't axe this franchise. I hope they decide to keep it going, because it really is. It's a great franchise, and unfortunately, because it looks like this game was written with an American audience in mind. I am a little worried regarding that for that reason, because Square Enix is a Japanese company. They may not always, they might want to prioritize games that resonate with Japanese gamers rather than American gamers. But who knows? I just hope they keep developing this franchise, and I'm excited for it to see where it goes.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable game to watch, and I do hope they continue making more. I'd like to see them, because we all know that brought back characters from older games, like Cameo. I kind of hope they do that with Alex too. Even if it's a very minor role, I would still like to see this world that they're building. Seems to be all interconnected, kind of. Keep it growing. Keep it getting bigger.
All right. Well, that wraps up our review for Life is Strange True Colors. For those of you watching, thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode. We really appreciate it, and we hope you guys enjoyed us banter and watching IDK's sheer hatred on full display. But if you want to keep up, if you want to get updates on what we're doing, please hit that follow button so you're notified whenever we stream a new episode. Otherwise, you can also check out our YouTube channel, which is Thumbstick Adventurers, and it has all of our episodes. But anyways, until then, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you all next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye.